Let's begin in the southern part of the continent as we see what's on the front page of the Sowetan in South Africa. And on the front page of the Sowetan, we can see the big story there talking about Joburg fire engine crisis. It says water buckets couldn't save kids. This is really unfortunate. Dire need for more fire trucks highlighted by death of 2 children aged 1 and 5 as firefighters arrived only after man had put out blaze. So, is there any punishment that is going to be meted out? Will there be investigations carried out? Was someone sloppy with their job? It's not just enough for this to make it a headline and not enough for this to highlight what the deficiency is after, unfortunately, the life of 2 kids have been lost. So what will be done about this is a question we're asking. Limpo Hani rejects racist liars' apology on page 4. Nseki appointment, rules scathing over new coach. Abakosi legend not impressed. Give the man a chance. Mekwa says ex-Bafana trainer fit for job. These are the stories this morning on the front page of the Sowetan. Let's still stay within the southern part of the continent.
All right, let's go to the Namibian this morning. Not very many stories we can find, but it says here, Depo Provera, the drug that divides women. And of course, also share some of the side effects, hair loss, weight gain, and irregular periods. You can find out more about that drug on the Namibian this morning. And also for 10 years, 2 million Namibian dollars for promoting Ponzi's. That's also something you can find. Or jail for 10 years, I beg your pardon. Or $2 million Namibian dollars for promoting Ponzi's. That's a good. I think that's a pretty interesting new law there. We can also find here Shaningwa scolds Kawana over accepting same-sex judgment. I've said it before that the southern part of the continent, seems to have more conversations on the LGBTQ and the likes.
And I just want to highlight something, a story you picked up, Depo Provera, the drug that divides women. And why I'm highlighting it is because I've just researched it, and it says it's a birth control shot and it's given once every 11 to 13 weeks. I think that it's unfair, unfortunately, that women have to be the ones to bear the brunt of birth control. Don't roll your eyes at me, because I feel like you already have to go through the struggle of being the one to carry the pregnancy, being the one to have the baby, being the one to have the body changes. Someone in the family should at least take one for the team and go and have a vasectomy if need be. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not even looking at you. I'm just paying attention to my job this morning. Being very focused on my job.
You don't agree
It's not a vasectomy is not I understand the sentiments around it, but it's not like, you just walk to the pharmacy and say, give me 2 vasectomy there and swallow it. It's a surgical procedure, isn't it? So it's a lot more, and it's a lot more complicated than it is made to seem. I understand how, so it's unfair that women have to be the ones to take these. I get it.
You don't get it.
But at the same time, I don't think you guys, I think you guys belittle what a vasectomy is. So you make it seem like it is just go and take 2 tablets of this, medication. That's not what it is.
Nobody's belittling it.
But that's the way you guys make it sound.
I mean, if some people had done vasectomies, by
is
now
birth
we'll not be
control
hearing
a surgical
stories
procedure?
Will not be yet. It's not a surgical procedure,
Okay.
But you don't have to feel the side effects of birth control, of how women have bleeding non-stop.
I get it.
because they have birth
So
control.
here's the
how
thing,
some women
right?
have cancers.
So here's the thing. I think it's a bigger conversation that you can say, okay, families or husbands, couples need to have conversations better on their sexual relationships, even in marriage.
No, this is
Because
the
you
marriage
don't
I'm talking
want
about,
because
yeah.
you don't want your wife to continue to deal with taking medication all the time. So men need to figure out ways that they can have safe sexual experiences with their wives that wouldn't require her taking birth control
Final
every
question on
2
this.
days.
If I don't know, I'm not quite sure. I know I've heard conversations about birth control with birth control for men, birth control pills for men. I don't have enough information about this to make a speculation on it yet. However, if there are guaranteed birth control pills for men, do you think men will take it?
Oh, absolutely.
You think?
I think so. I mean, it's just not been popularized enough. I understand the argument that they say that, if these things were more men focused, would have less of them, in the market and stuff like that. But I feel like, yes, I feel like more men will be open to taking these things if they were just a tablet. If you just need to take a tablet, we just haven't gotten there yet, and so I can't necessarily put my foot down and say, oh, 100%.
I hope that we get there very soon, so we'll stop having conversations about babies.
I think both parties need to be more responsible. But I mean, what do I know?
This argument has spiraled into something else. Anyway, thank you very much.
Let's go to Nigeria and see what's on the Punch, if there's any birth control stories on the Punch.
I'm sure there aren't. If not, we wouldn't have had the gist about the 30 billion gang allegations.
Right.
Anyway, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, service chiefs seniors, military orders generals to retire, gives Monday deadline. CDS direct officers above course 39 to tender retirement letters. Directive meant to uphold hierarchy, service discipline, says Defense Headquarters. Abdul Razak lists socioeconomic benefits as Ilorin Durbar holds. Subsidy removal, federal government saves 400 billion naira in 4 weeks. Is that good news? What that is in 400 billion naira to do yet? So, okay. Lagos court acquits woman charged with assault on policeman on page 5. Naira devaluation will increase raw material import costs, according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. External reserves fall by $3 billion in 6 months. CBN injected $18 billion into forex market in 2022, according to a report. And final story, Naira redesign couldn't stop my victory, says Tinubu. There we go again. That's all.
A similar story, like on the Daily Sun this morning. Let's move to the Daily Sun.
Yeah, share with us what's on the Daily Sun.
Similar story. He says here, nothing would have stopped my victory, says Tinubu, as he declares hope for a better Nigeria, and also vows to deliver on all campaign promises. Also pledges to fix Nigeria's bleeding economy. Time will tell. Sacrifices for better Nigeria must start from leaders, and that is from Peter Obi. He was referring to, or reacting rather, to the, alleged 100-plus vehicle convoy of President Tinubu when he arrived Nigeria. And of course he said pretty much the same thing that I think I have also said, and a few other people have mentioned, that the body language of the current administration, from just that video doesn't show that they understand what is at stake, and they understand, how much they need to start cutting down on government expenditure, if they really want to fix Nigeria's ailing economy, or they want to, cut down on the waste in government. And when you see things like that, it really just tells you, same thing with the Senate president. I remember a couple of weeks ago, there was a video of the Senate president leaving the National Assembly, after a day's work. And you saw the number of people that were attached to just the Senate president's convoy, which made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And if you look at, other climes, that people always refer to, you would never get to see these things happen like that. And I mean, if you are so loved and so popular and so, whatever, you don't necessarily need to go around, move around the state with, 100, people protecting you. You don't need it. If you're that popular and loved by, by the people who put you in office and all of that. But unfortunately, we don't get to see these things a lot. And so, yes, I agree. And I'm sure a lot of people also agree that the sacrifices must start from the leaders. And we must start to see that they're actually taking these things seriously.
But the leaders themselves probably don't agree with this. I mean, if they do agree, it looks more like lip service than anything else, because
good luck to Nigerians.
They will continue with the same thing.
Because petrol price is about to hit 600, 700, according to
analysts. Race up, Nigerians.
Exactly.
Fasten your seatbelts.
No business partnership with Britain until Kanu is freed, says IPOB. Okay. Also, gubernatorial polls, PDP confident of winning Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa. NIA retirees accuse ex-director Dauda of treason. And also Senate minority leader. Opposition against Tambowal's bid grows. You can also find here, Navy reshuffles 56 rear admirals in major shakeup. Catholic bishops reject proposed bill on Christian Education Council. And these are the major stories that we have on the newspapers this morning. We have more papers coming your way in the second half of Breakfast Central. But it's time to go into our top stories this morning. That's what comes up right next.